All right, welcome to Qatar Career Development Center Career Café and our sixth session that coincides with the beginning of the new academic year 2020-2021. It is a great pleasure to meet you again in our virtual career guidance community. My name is Efrosini Dimitrios and I have the privilege to work with QCDC for the last 8 years as a Senior Career Programs and Services Officer. Together with Paige McDonough, we will navigate today's session with our esteemed panel guests and attendees.
Thank you very much, Sini, and welcome everyone. Lovely to see familiar names. So the guidelines for today's session is going to be recorded. However, for privacy reasons, as we've got our student panelists with us today, the recording will only be shared with the panelists, but we will email out to all of the attendees the presentation. Your participation is encouraged using video, audio, and chat functions as before, so please do feel free to engage. When you are not speaking, we do ask that just to minimize any background noise, you keep your microphone muted when not speaking. And also today, the flow of the session, the way it will work is I will ask the panelists the questions, and then at the end, we will have the opportunity and open the floor to you as the attendees to also ask questions. So that's how the flow of today's session will go. And then lastly, we will have a survey at the end. You all, I think, know the drill by now. So we do kindly request that you take the time to fill out the survey at the end.
So in the last Career Café, we discussed the pandemic effects and we explored effective tips for career guidance in the post-pandemic era. And we actually gave the experts' perspective. We briefly tapped on major disruptions in our daily life and work, the sense of individual and collective uncertainty, as well as the key role that career practitioners have in supporting clients with making effective transition after a period of isolation. The reality is that we still don't know the full effects this pandemic poses for education or employment. Rather, we learn as we move ahead. During the past 6 months here at QCDC, we invested most of our resources in redesigning programs and services to continue being available online. And of course, we had to make major or minor adaptations. In this increasingly complex situation, we realized that clients' feedback is the only way to respond effectively to the acute urgency to what they need. Especially in the field of career guidance and development, client is in the center of our practice. The value of listening to client in a focused, attentive manner allow us to see the world as they see it, along with their needs, wants, desires, fears, and even concerns. It also demonstrates respect and goes a long way to building strong long-term relationships. Developing a deeper understanding of our client is exceptionally powerful and will take our relationship with him or her to a whole new level. Also, from a business perspective, feedback allows us to gather strategic and tactical information that are so important. So together with Paige and our panel guests, we will attempt to dive into the client's perspective, exploring topics such as expectations and views of importance of career services, especially during and post the COVID-19 times, changes they would like to see, as well as other pertinent issues. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity to present such a powerful topic in the session. Welcome our panelists who kindly agreed to present clients' perspectives, and of course our curious attendees and fellow practitioners for responding to this call. Paige and guests, shall we start?
Yes, thank you very much. So again, to just reiterate what Sini said, I would like to thank and welcome our panelists for joining us today. We have a wonderful range of student panelists who have taken time out of their day to provide this insightful feedback for us. So at this time, I would like to invite our panelists to introduce yourselves. If you could start by telling us your name, the school that you currently attend or where you graduated from, and the degree that you are studying. So Sausan, I'll let you start off.
Hi, my name is Sausan Mahmoud, or Sausan Al-Araki. I'm a student at AVP. I graduated from Qatar Academy Sidra, and I'm planning to study at CMU Computer Science.
Okay. Thank you, Sosan. Hi, my name is Muna Saif. I go to Georgetown University in Qatar. I am a senior currently. I'm majoring in international politics, and I have a minor in economics and Arabic.
Hello, my name is Shariq Ahmed, and I'm a master's student at HBKU, and I'm studying Islamic Studies. And I have also a degree in international politics. And I'm planning for a PhD program. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ahmed Aden. I'm a Qatar University alumni. I have a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering, and I'm currently working in Said Industrial City.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the introductions. And again, thank you for being here. So we'll kick off with our first question. Tell us, have you engaged with any career services at your school, university, or elsewhere? And the second part to that question is, if you have, what services or guidance did you seek out? And if you have not sought out any services, why not?
So for me personally, I haven't been engaged with any career services programs before. And that was because we had a very limited access to career services programs. I don't think so. Our school did actually introduce us to what were career services before and what were their jobs. And I think the main issue was, for example, in schools introducing us, because I graduated from a high school recently and I didn't really knew anything about career services, but I really had an idea in my mind that I wanted to change something about career services, hopefully in the future. Like I got to know about it, like for example, from personally, but not from a school side or let's say from an organization. So let's say I also recommend schools or organizations to introduce career services more, what's their roles, what they're going to do, because that's going to make younger generations like us be not only smart, but it will also make them get informations about career services in general and also give them a bright future. I give it to you, Mona.
Thank you, Sosan. So personally, when I was in high school, almost career planning in general is completely absent in Yemen. There isn't such a thing. So it's either bad that you either do engineering or become a doctor. And I think that's just the most common thing. However, in the past 3 years, I have engaged with the Career Center at Georgetown University. And it was mainly for interview tips, CV tips, how to manage LinkedIn, how to look for jobs on LinkedIn, how to even what to say. And sometimes we will do mock interviews. I also seek help with student employment opportunities and also internships. And I had a brief chats here and there with the career counselor at Georgetown about like possible future career options and skill sets and things like that. So thank you. I pass the floor to Sharik.
Thank you, Muna. For me, I have also never been I didn't approach to any career services because first of all, I mean, it has to do with the social cultural factors in the place where I grew up. Usually in my place, everybody like your family member and your relative, they all pretend to be like care service. And interestingly, they don't give you much advice. Only thing that they ask you to do is to become an engineer or doctor. I think it's a third world country's problem. And I remember once I was giving advice to one of my friend's nephew, and I told him like, you don't have to be sticking to this only two field. You can do other things also. And then I was accused of kind of ruining his career. So for that reason, I never introduced myself to any career counseling services. And also in my university, when I was studying my bachelor's, we didn't hear much about these services. And we know that there was something in our university, I mean, an organization which was working for that, but you usually hear about them once in a year, only for the placement services. Apart from that, if you go to them, you have to sign a form and register and then wait. So it was kind of not functional. So for that reason, like we have to come up with our own ideas and guide ourselves our own. That's it. Thank you.
So as far as for me, I've actually think I've come into contact with career services 3 times. Once was in high school when they were trying to help us find a major to join and all. And back in high school, they already divided us into general, engineering, medicine, and such. So I was doing medicine in high school, but I wasn't interested in doing medicine. I only went there because it has some subjects that I was good at, that was advanced. So further on, my career advisor back in high school was helping me, like, because I think I was good at high school. I think that's why he approached me that and asked me, Ahmed, what do you need in such a way? Me and a bunch of guys. So yeah, and once again, I think it was in the university. This time it was wasn't approached. I'm sorry. I was the one that doing the approaching, where I heard about this test that you do, and I mean, if you answer it like truthfully, I mean, it could show you like some sort of a magic 8 ball or something. So I said, all right, let's do it. So I did it. I had a meeting, and the thing is, I didn't follow up on it, so that was my fault. And yeah, so the third time was with the lovely Miss Sinai, with Injaz. It was fun. It was actually the first time doing the test, like the psychometric test, personality test, like what do you feel. And the funny thing is, like I graduated in chemical engineering. None of the, I think it was 20 options, none of them was engineering. So that put a big question mark on my choices over there. All right, so yeah, so after that, I mean, that intrigued me again to once again get in touch with Miss. And I think we 2 times after Injaz. One, we actually met face to face back in 2019. All right, and after that, I think same thing that happened back in uni when I couldn't follow up again, so I slacked off, I guess. And after that, I tried to get in touch with her again. Like once everything was developing really quick, like especially being like working in a chemical plant, and things were moving fast. So I had this plans, I had that plans. So I needed some like an expert opinion. So I reached out to Miss Sinai again and asked her, but she was on leave. So so she directed me to Miss Page, which was wonderful. And we spoke about like the options. And I'll be honest, when I was trying to speak to her, I was like trying to get a definitive answer. Ahmed, do this, you'll be good, you'll be set for life. But yeah, well, we got hit by reality, and it's a tougher decision. I mean, it's a challenge for everyone. I mean, it's always going to be a bumpy road, whether you know what you're going to do or whether you're not. So we spoke about that. I think we had 2 sessions, and yeah, I know we came up with a lot of good solutions and a lot of good results out of it. So yeah, so that is briefly my experience with career services.
Thank you all very much for that very insightful information, and unique to hear each one of your perspectives. We might have follow-up questions towards the end, but we'll keep on track for right now. So the next question I'd like to pose to you all is, what are your expectations of career services?
So for me personally, because you know what, not a lot of career services actually pay attention to this, but as soon as you reach to a level in high school, for example, from 10th grade and 11th and then 12th, and then you graduate high school, you tend to think, oh, so what do I actually want to do? Maybe you don't ask yourself this question, but then the teachers in school, they keep asking you, what do you want to be? And you're kind of lost and you really don't know what to do and you really don't know what to choose. And as Ahmed said, they just saw him good at high school. They told him, you go this and you do this. And that's things, I mean, that's a thing that's happening right now. And we really need to change it. I highly recommend, for example, recommending teenage students for teenage jobs that is related to, for example, the things they want to study. Because you know what, when someone comes up to me and asks me, what do you exactly want to do in future? I am very confused. I don't really know what to do. What do I want to do? So we need workshops, for example, that helps us understand what does the kid or the child or the student or the graduate wants to do after graduating high school or after graduating, for example, the college. Because right now, I don't want to put this, don't want to give something I'm not really pretty sure about, but I think all of us know the amount of students that graduate from very good universities or either a simple university. At the end of the day, they really don't get a perfect job or a stable job. They keep searching and searching and searching. It really tires them. And I don't want to say I want to put the blame on anyone, but like if we focus more on our part, which is the younger, like the students, for example, if we focus from the beginning on the student when they were in 10th grade or in ninth or maybe in 6th grade, and then we go with them step by step, I definitely think that they would never find a problem in finding what career do they want. For example, in Japan, not Japan, Singapore, they actually make kids practice. For example, let's say they have math and science and English and whatever, they make them practice it practically, which is something very good. This is also, I truly believe it's something with career services. You make kids and you make students to get used to these ideas and perspectives from a younger age, and when they grow up and when they graduate, they're already ready. They're already very ready to know and to work or to get into a certain job, which will also make them comfortable. But when you graduate from high school not really sure what do you want to do, you're actually wasting time. And we don't want to, you know what, we don't want to waste time. We want a generation that is well educated, has a very good job. And I don't, you know what, one day me and my dad, we were talking about this, and I told my dad, why do we need 12 years of studying, and why do we need this, and why do we need that? And then he tells me, you know what, sweetie, you get into you get into school and then you graduate, and then what is after graduation? And then he's like, you go to university. And I was like, what is after graduating from university? He tells me you get a job. So I told him, Dad, oh, so I struggle all of these years to get a job. What if I don't get a job? I really asked myself this question. And I personally think that career service, if they focus on kids or students from a certain age or from a younger age, they would never find a problem approaching them when they're bigger, for example. And I say thank you, and I give it back to Mona.
Thank you, Susan. Well, I think what Susan said was more on a general level, but for me, I will touch upon more of like on a personal level what I expect from a career counselor. So I expect to be guided in two ways, first directly and then indirectly. And here what I mean when I say directly, I mean, well, let's start with indirectly. Indirectly in the sense of helping me to gain self-clarity and be more self-aware of my own skills and how my skills actually fit in the job market, or what skills do I need to fill in the gap in the job market that would make me more employable. So that would also help me at the same sense gain a little bit of confidence, but also know how to market myself during interviews and know how to answer interview questions better, but also know where is my fit. And when I say directly, is to explore my options. And here maybe it's a bit limited, but what I'm saying to explore my options in Doha. And I feel the career that I'm seeking, or the career that I'm seeking to take is in public policy. And I feel like it's a bit of a hard option here for me because I'm not a national, I'm not a Qatari, and it's hard to work in national public policy building when you're not a citizen of the country to begin with. So I think it would be good to explore, or I expect the career counselor to tell me or give me some clarity about what type of jobs that could fill in my passion or fit into what I'm aspiring to be, and at the same time, where do I fit, or what alternatives I could take to build toward eventually getting a career as, for example, a public policy analyst or something similar to that. So thank you, and I'll pass it to Sharik.
Thank you, Mona. So for me, I believe that the career counseling services, like they should actually focus on the high school students also, as the Sosan said. But also, I think there is a need of giving some kind of a space where they can grow, because usually what happens, we don't have actually all, like when we are high school, we think of something we are passionate about, but maybe by the time we might change our like views regarding some discipline or something. Like I myself, I started as an engineering student. I did my bachelor's in computer science, but when I was in my third year, I thought like this is not the thing that I want to do. I wanted to go into politics and humanities because my ideas changed the way I see the politics around me and the culture and society. I had the urge to know more about my society and to do something like in the policy services in the government level, to change something from that level. So I changed my career completely from there to there. People ask me like, why do you do that? I mean, what was in your mind? But like I cannot tell everyone about like an explanation why I did. So what I'm thinking, like what I want from a career service, that from the beginning there should be some kind of nurture, like you nurture and you let the child grow in the particular direction, but also keep the field open for him or her, and give them all the different options that he or she has, or that the market can accept. And apart from that, I think there are two things that we also have to take into consideration. That's like the what and why. So what I discussed about, like what we have to do, and sorry, what and how. The what we actually, I told you about the what, and how it's about how we're going to do it. So the thing is, like most of the time, at least in our place, people have talent, but they can't go to the place where what they deserve or what they want to go. Let's say if they want to go for some good universities, they cannot go to good university. Because why? Because they don't know how to write a good resume or how to write a good motivational letter. So these are the things that are so like, very under focused, because everybody thinks by take it for granted. They think, okay, everybody must be knowing it. But usually what happens, even though you have good results, you have good grades and marks, but when you apply for some university or some job, your cover letter or your motivation letter or something, you don't know how to frame it properly. Just because of this unawareness, you end up losing the job. And apart from that, me personally, I want to stay in the academics. So that's why I left my engineering and I came to humanities. I want to go in academics and to become a professor. I want to go for PhD. As a student who's aspiring to become a PhD scholar, also for me is the biggest problem right now I'm facing is about my PhD research proposal. And also, I mean, where should I apply? And if I apply, if I'm going to get a scholarship or not. So all those things, I believe career counseling services should take into consideration. Like if students are in masters, they have to talk to them. They have to know, I mean, what they want and what colleges we can send them to. I mean, at least if they have some kind of understanding, like what are the colleges that we can go to, because not all of the time, if you look for some big colleges, you can go to those colleges because maybe your eligibility criteria, you don't fulfill them, something like that. So, I mean, from the beginning to the end, like when you come to the masters, definitely now you're already like, your vision is secure. You now know that, okay, you cannot change your discipline right now. So there you need like how to do it, because what it comes in the beginning, what to do it, but how to do it, it goes on by the time. And then when you're in masters or you're in bachelors, where you decide, you only need to know the logistical issues. So I think the career counseling services should focus on that. And also, apart from that, the workshop, as Sosan talked about, the workshops are very important. And I think apart from workshop, internships are very important also. Like career counseling services should have a list of internship, like according to the colleges. Like if Georgetown colleges, they want to go more in humanities, or Texas, they are in engineering, CIS like HBKU, they are in public policy and Islamic studies. So the career counseling services should also give students the list of the organization which are working, or maybe different companies, those who are hiring interns, so that this student can go and do internship for, let's say, 3 months or 4 months. At least they will get a sense of what is happening in the market. So I think that's the most important thing. Thank you.
Well, thank you everyone for this was beautiful actually, and you guys covered a lot of points that I like to cover, but I'll keep it short. And for Susan, I mean, you're very young. Let me tell you, I'm on the other side. I'm actually working now after I graduate. I mean, you're gonna change them. I can't even count how many times I changed what I wanted to do for the future. like from a helicopter, like pilot, to basketball player, to engineer, to I'm just saying, you got a lot of time ahead of you, so enjoy the journey. And as for I'm expecting from career services, first of all, I wasn't expecting you guys to provide that for an alumni. That was surprised me, and I was happy with that. And because a person is still like faced with a lot of decisions and a lot of choices that I can make, and an experienced second opinion would be very useful for that. So that was I loved that from the career services, and I also did a little career servicing. I don't know if that's the right term to use, but I'm a part of the Somali Expat Forum in Qatar, and we held a meeting for the students, like whether it's high school, university, where we had different professionals from different like backgrounds, and I was in the engineering background table. So when I sat with the kids and high school students, middle school students, and even university students, when I spoke to them, I mean, I'll give you their perspective. So I can like give you my idea of what to expect from career services. I mean, they were a little confused. I mean, half of the choices that were made by the parents. And when I was speaking to them, I mean, I told them like you're gonna live in a time that your parents are not gonna be around. I mean, they lived in a different time, different circumstances. It's gonna be different for you. So I mean, I tried to comfort them. I tried to, because there's a lot of confusion, a lot of and at the same time, a lot of like people feel comfortable with the decision that other people make for them, like they're guided. So some people feel comfortable with that, some people feel comfortable, or I mean the other way around, feel confused, feel uncomfortable. So they ask me like, because I guess I was the cool guy there, so everybody was feeling comfortable to ask me questions. So I told them, like, Ahmed, like, what should I do here? I mean, what do you like? What do you do? So, and I'll be honest, like when I graduated from engineering, I didn't hop straight into an engineering program. I think I told you this, but I joined a media company where we were shooting ads and different locations, like aircraft hangars to hotel lounges and places I haven't been to meeting people I wasn't expecting to ever meet if I jumped immediately into engineering. So I did that, and after that, I did a little basketball too. So then after that, the opportunity came to join an engineering company. So that's what I did after that. So like I was saying, I mean, I told that's the experience I tried to display for those students that asked me like, dude, you could do whatever you want, but you gotta work hard for it. And I told them it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be tough. It's a grind, but at least make the choice that like you'll enjoy the journey at least with it. So I mean, to sum it up, like I would expect from career services to make them feel comfortable about the choices that they make, like prepare them for the 20 years to come, not the 20 years that passed that their parents prepared them to, if you get what I'm saying. All right, so that's what I would love to see from career services, and I've seen a lot of it. Mashallah, you guys been wonderful. I mean, you've been very nurturing, and that was great. And I will only add, I haven't been like on the student side from this, but I'm saying if there's students that come to you guys, it would be wonderful if you like show them like the world's gonna be a different place from now. So make the choice that will make you like willing to fight for and like persevere in this coming like shifting world, ever shifting world. All right, now, sorry if I took too long. Just a little passionate about this topic.
Ahmed. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your views. We just received one question, so I will address it to all four of you. What types of things are you doing to seek out experiential opportunities in Qatar? So whoever would like to answer is welcome.
Experiential opportunities. Oh yeah, okay. So should I go ahead first?
Sure.
Sure.
All right. So for me, I've always I don't like to stay at home, so I always join different groups. I always try to join different activities, explore different options. Like I think me and Mrs. Page discussed, like it's not only about higher degrees or higher education is the only way to explore different options. So I just joined different groups. I used LinkedIn to meet different people, meetups, and that opened a lot of. One of the funny thing is I met a guy that allowed me to have a summer internship at Dolphin Energy at Ras Laffan. It's a LNG plant. It was so random. I just met the guy over there. Hi, Ahmed. I'm Adam. So did I? How are you? 10 minutes later, I was exchanging numbers and like, boom, that's summer I had a summer internship. So like networking and social media, I always like reach out to people. So that's what I do to opportunities, and I'm easy going. So I think it's somewhat like easier to like speak to me when I approach people. So I guess that helps as well.
Sultan, you have your hand up, so you may go ahead and speak. Thank you.
So actually, thank you, Ahmed, for saying I was too young to say all of these stuffs, but I actually I've actually seen it with different people, and I've seen their struggle, not only with me, with my family too, but talking about what Jacqueline, I guess, right? I'm sorry if the name is pronounced wrong. I participated. Like Ahmed said, I don't like staying at home. I love volunteering. So volunteering actually helps me to see different careers in a different perspective. Also, let me add this. This was supposed to be a secret, but you know what? Let's just say it. I love designing and I love programming and stuff. So I design websites currently and I sell them. And I do professional websites. I didn't know I could do this at all, only when I tried it myself. So I think we highly recommend teens jobs, like that could not only volunteers, but like teen jobs that could actually make them um, get them exposed to jobs and careers at a younger age. Thank you.
Muna, you have your hand up, so you may speak. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Beige. Yeah. So to seek experiences, I have done a couple of internships. I have freelance either for research or just teaching or tutoring in general. I have taken multiple and different student jobs at the university and at QF in general. Those involve research in Arabic, carrying workshops for high school students. So mostly it all around one team, which is research, but at the same time working in education, which combines the both things. Because as I said, in the future, I want to work on educational public policy. So I think I'm trying to gain as like, even if it's like one skill per position or per one thing that I do, I try to do it. Also, beside that, I volunteer with different initiatives. So yeah.
Lovely. Thank you for that, Muna. Sharik, I'll give you the opportunity if you wish to speak. Otherwise, we can move on.
Yeah, like I have not really gone for the opportunities in Qatar because I've tried asking to people, and I was talking to my supervisor also about my field, like where can I go, and so I didn't find much. So what I have done is like I was a part of like a couple of events that happened 2-3 months ago, and it was also from HPKU. It was on COVID-19. So, and apart from that, I've been writing emails to the organizations. Like I go for the website, and then I'm looking for internship prospects, and I also apply for the Qatar University research positions, like for internship also. But I have not been successful. That's a different thing. But yeah, I'm also like kind of talking to people, communicating, and asking people if they have like graduates and alumni from my university if they're doing something here. So I've been talking to them.
Lovely. Thank you all so much for your contributions for those questions. Moving on to the next question I'd like to ask you all. You mentioned a little bit in the previous question about what you would like to see, but I'd like for you all to elaborate a little bit further on how important are career services to you personally?
Personally, I would say career services play a very major role. And as I said before, when a student is already exposed to information or is already ready to face the future world. It makes them very confident about what they're doing and not feeling very lost. And I personally feel, you know what, I've seen it, I've seen my cousins, I've seen my family, I've seen people from all around the world. Some of them, they really find it and they struggle finding jobs and they feel sad about it because you know what they say, we've been studying 12 years of our life and then you go to graduate, studying in a university, which is maybe 6 to 4 years, 4 to 6 years, or maybe 3 years. All of this studying is just to go to a, not to say a perfect job, but to go to a job that actually meets your, um, I don't want to say recommendations, but meets your requirements. Like everybody wants at the end of the day to stay safe, to be in a proper home, to be well nourished and all of this. And they say you need to get educated and then you need to graduate. And then after graduating, you need to have a job. And if you really don't know and you're very lost and you really don't know what to do, then you're gonna face so much not trouble, but you're gonna face so much difficulties in the future. You're gonna be so lost and you're gonna be like, I wish I actually had career service, for example, in school, or I wish, and the word, the sentence I wish, or the word, I don't know what if it's a word or sentence, just excuse me, but like it just tells us, why do you say I wish? Why does it not happen now? We need to implement and improve career services in schools, universities, step by step. We can start with younger ages. We can start with small classes and make these kids and students very exposed and nourished about what exactly they want to do. And I give it to Mona. Thank you.
Thank you, Sosan. Well, it is very important to me because, as Sosan mentioned, it helps you gain clarity on what is next or what what are you supposed to do next. Especially in this time of the pandemic, I think we just live in uncertainty, and I feel like in this time, also as I'm gonna be graduating soon, so that means also because of the effects of the pandemic on the economy, my options will be very limited, and I feel like I need someone to guide me and help me gauge through those options, or even tell me how to dig in and find those opportunities, especially because here, like, there are multiple factors that play in here. First, being not a native, or not being a Qatari. Second, the type of the nature of the job that I'm looking for, as I mentioned before, but also just the fact that we live in a pandemic and we don't know what's gonna happen next. So I feel like career guidance, especially in this time, plays a crucial role in helping students will psychologically adapt to the effects, or to what is next question, but also at the same time help guide them to what to do next. Thank you. I pass it to Sharik.
No, thank you, Mona. For me, I think there are two important things that we have to take into consideration. The first thing is the stability, and the second thing is the security. For me, the career counseling service is important because, first of all, it gives you stability. You don't just like move here and there. You know what you're going to do because there is someone who is telling you and who's guiding you throughout the career. And the second thing is of the security. As Mona discussed about the situation that we're facing right now, the pandemic, I mean, everything is uncertain now. People are getting fired. So what can we think about ourselves who have not even jumped to the market? And now people are trying to approach to the companies for a job, and they're getting no replies. Or if they're getting replies, they say, okay, we apologize, we don't have jobs. So in that sense, career counseling services, I mean, they're important because they provide the security, because you know there is someone who is going to help you to get into the right direction, to the right job. And during this pandemic, I think it has become more and more important, and the role of the career counseling services should be emphasized, and it should be people should be students should be made aware of this by different means of communications. And because one question that I saw there, I would like to just answer now. Marie, she asked about how can we encourage, and it has to do with the importance. I think, I mean, the career counseling services have to move beyond the traditional system of like communicating with the students. like from my experience, whatever happens in the college, we receive through the university email. Usually what happens, like most of the students, they end up like, it's just like for them, it's a spam. Every week, there are like 2, 3, 4 emails, like student services from this and from that. So people don't actually read it. I know it's not the problem of the career counseling services. It's the responsibility of the students, but we also have to take into consideration that we need to reach to the students by different communications. Like we need to have some, like people are using Instagram. We have to become more active on Instagram. And also in the universities, there are different notice boards, so we can have some pamphlet or something like that, and then notice board, and those who are responsible, like the president of the university, like student president, or those who are engaged in the community, they should be the focal point. The students should be the focal point, so that the normal students, those who don't really have time for the email, or those who don't really go for their email, they know about it, because this is very critical time for all of us, those who are here, like those who are second year, or those who are in first year, those who are going to graduate. They already are in trouble, like what they're going to do. Either they just go back to their home country, or they end up doing nothing. So I think in that sense, I mean, security and the stability is two most important things for me. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I forgot what the question was actually, but
No worries, I'll read the question
what?
to you. It's about
Okay.
how important are career services to you?
How important, like, it's an experience, second opinion for me. I mean, you can ask a lot of advice from different location and people, but a professional that does this thing for a living, I mean, it's the best place to seek advice on how to move forward in your future. And I would, I know with the, I mean, that's why I came forward with you guys. I asked a lot of people, but not a lot of people might have the same perspectives as I have. And I'm sure you guys have seen many varieties of people, and you might understand what direction am I coming from, and you can guide me to, like, show me at least the right, like, I know my goal, but you show me the path, if you know what I'm saying. So that is the thing that I would expect and saw from career services.
Thank you, Ahmed. So if we are to cover the question that Marie posted about how university career centers can engage their college students to take advantage of the variety of services they offer, what would you suggest? What would you recommend?
On myself, better marketing. I mean, like, I'm sorry, dude, but Ishraf, I think your name is Ishraf. Yeah, so you mentioned that you receive a lot of emails from career services, and I'll be honest, I've been there. I mean, emails doesn't do a lot for me, but better marketing, and like in like, if you've seen ads on TV, if you've seen like ads on social media, like, you would ask them the tough questions. You will make them feel the importance of career services, your future. I mean, I wouldn't say fear mongering, but in the same time, show them the importance of career services. Show them in 10 years, have you planned? What are you doing? I mean, get them out of their comfort zone. I've seen a lot of ads that sometimes, like, makes me question a lot of things, and that is due to great marketing. So I don't know if you like would seek consulting from a marketing company, or you get creative, but better marketing would be the way to go. I mean, social media. I mean, young people are all over social media, YouTube. I mean, events. Go to events, and I'm sure like Qatar University Education City has a lot of events. Maybe say there's a talent show. You might go before any of the shows and, hi, we're the career services. I mean, one of you guys might have a talent, and then throw the career services at the end after that. But that's the idea I'm trying to say. Different approach will reach out to them, and emails is not enough. I actually wanted to speak about that point, but it's a good thing that was mentioned, and better marketing would be the way to go from here.
Thank you, Ahmed. So Maria also responded, and she said that they are using actually Instagram, and still they see a little participation. So what would be your pearl of wisdom, Muna, Sausan, Sharik?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. I think it was lagging.
So, for example, Marie posted again in a comment that in her university in Northwestern, they are using social media platforms like Instagram, but still they are struggling to get more students participate in the services that they offer. So from your perspective, what do you think would be most attractive to engage you?
Well, as Ahmed said, marketing and communication is very important. Maybe we can work on understanding what do teenagers or students get more attracted to. Maybe we could see other platforms, for example. We can get to them and talk to them in a more interesting way. Maybe we can design. You see, we just don't want a page on Instagram that is just so vague. Maybe we could just put like, oh, hello. Well, you know what? It's the way you grab their attention. So you really need to focus on the way you grab their attention. Are you going to be like, oh, are you just going to write a sentence, a bold sentence? Are you going to put there? No, we want it, for example, let's say designed professionally to attract the mindsets of these students, for example. That's what I personally think. Tell them there's workshops, free workshops. You're more than you're more than welcome to come in. Like that's for me personally. I get attracted when I see posts like that. Or yeah, competitions. Competitions.
Oh, competitions. Sorry. Okay. Sharik, you raised your hand.
Yeah, I mean, about like what Marie posted about the Instagram, I think one of the issues with the career counseling services or any other services that's provided by the university or by the Qatar Foundation or by any other foundation is their character, like formal character. So what happens is like if you have something very formal, the students, they might end up like, going away from you. So that you need to change the perception. Even if you have a Facebook page or Instagram page or something like YouTube page, if you have a very formal structure, formal design of your page, or maybe you being too formal in your approach, the concept in itself is too formal. People are not going to look at the Instagram post or something. They have other things. They have more interesting thing to do. So I think what you need to add is also like, how can you make it interesting? And apart from that, interesting and student friendly. From my experience, I'm living in the housing that's provided by the Qatar Foundation, and it's a really nice place actually. So one of the best things that housing does is like it tries to connect the residents together. So they have a post called CDAs, like I think it's community development assistants. So what they do is like in every building there is one person who is in charge of trying to engage the residents and trying to find if there could be something interesting that to be done. So these CDAs, they are actually getting paid by the housing, but they are not as a formal employee, but they are something as informal. Any resident can go, and the CDAs themselves, they are connected to the resident by WhatsApp group and different social media connections. So they also go and they approach them, they talk to them, and usually these CDAs are the residents themselves, like a student of HBKU or any other university. So they have classrooms that they talk about if something is going to happen, if housing is giving something important. So everybody, like, words of mouth, so everybody knows about it. So I think that is more important. I mentioned also you need to actually contact people like those who are president and those who are in the student governing body and talk to them and see, I mean, how can you make yourself look more student friendly. And also, as Ahmed says about like, you have to also instill a kind of thinking. What are you doing? You have to also think about it. Do you have any plans for your future? You don't have plans for future. Okay, if you don't have plans for future, if you need some guidance, we're there to help you. So all this thing, if it's done by like, those who are staff or the employee of Qatar Foundation or Qatar Career Development Service, that's going to help, but not at that extent which a student or which a student-friendly body can do that. That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
Ahmed, you have raised your hand. You're muted.
Hi, I'm there. So yeah, I just wanted to give Ms. Maria some actionable advices to end it with that. So I would suggest, like, since considering that she's coming from Northwestern, use the students. I mean, use the students. Like, there are media students over there. I mean, even Qatar University, we had a the career services were also responsible about part-time jobs in the university. We had a media team. Use those guys, use them, and use how their perspectives. They know how to reach out to students instead of using the. I mean, this is the most respectful way, but sometimes you might be out of touch with the student. I mean, sometimes a student would be the best way to reach out to a student. So, and the same. And my second point is get aggressive. Get aggressive with the messages. I mean, being soft with them, being nice. How are you? How, do you need help? No, no. I mean, you need to catch their attention. I mean, we live in a social media age. The attention span have never been shorter. So you need to get them like interested and get them quick. Because if you don't, I mean, the message is going to get diluted with whatever they have in their feed in social media and all. So that was my 2 cents on this topic.
Thank you, Ahmed. We've got just a couple of minutes remaining. Muna, would you like to comment on Marie's question before we close out for today?
I think one important thing also is the nature of the sessions that you're advertising, because I feel like there is only one trend of either like having an employer session or a session where the career counselor will teach me how to use LinkedIn. And at some point, I think it gets repetitive. So maybe updating the content of the workshops or the sessions themselves to match what the job market is asking for. Or like, for example, if we see like today, we need people who work with technology because everyone we're shifting from like a physical and face-to-face like interaction to like virtual mode, then maybe that's a topic that has to be discussed, or a skill that has to be discovered with the students, or even like just holding workshops for different skills. So just shifting away from the usual trend of like CV tips, interview tips, employer session, because it gets repetitive, and then I wouldn't like, even employer session in most cases, the employers don't come to talk about what opportunities are there. They're vague, and mostly they're talking about the company itself, which is great. Yes, I would like to know about the company, but also if I want to attend the session, it would be an added incentive to, for example, if the employer session included in like upcoming opportunities where I can actually apply to. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you all very much. We have come to pretty much a close for today. I would like to thank wholeheartedly Sasan, Muna, Shadiq, and Ahmed for your participation today. Your insights and your feedback and the information that you told us today, I think will greatly benefit career services going forward. So again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day today. We really do appreciate it. We hope to see you at future events, and thank you very much. Sini, is there anything else?
You're welcome. Thank you.
Also from my end, just to thank everyone, the panelists, the attendees, and yourself as well, Paige, for bringing together this session. It was wonderful to hear different perspectives and to understand more about the client's views. And we'll look forward to welcoming you in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Stay safe and well.
You too.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.